It is Wednesday, December 20th, and the Splash Zone is back in your life with my 4 favorite NBA player props for tonight's NBA betting slate. Again, we're talking Wednesday, December 20th. My name is Matt Modi, and I have my 4 favorite NBA player props for you guys to hammer today. Before we can get into today's picks, we got to do a recap from yesterday, which was fine. We went 2-2 on our 4 picks, but thanks to the fact that all 4 were plus money bangers, we end the day with a slight profit of 0.54 units. We're not breaking the bank by making 0.054 units of profit, but we will take a profitable day any day we can get it. On the season, our success has been incredible. We're up 23.39 units season to date with an ROI of 18.64%. It's been very fun. Let's get back to the big winning ways today. As I mentioned, I got 4 picks for you guys. If you're not already, would appreciate it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then like this video, comment, let me know whether you like these picks, whether you hate them. If there are plays that you like, put that in the comments. And let's get into it. So play number 1 in the Nuggets versus Raptors game. We're taking Michael Porter Jr., 15 plus points, minus 115 odds at ESPN Bet. So I know that this isn't a plus money banger, and I'm actually going to have 2 non-plus money bangers for today's slate, for today's card. That's just how the odds shook out. I generally try to pump things up to get to plus money odds, but I didn't want to pump something up just for the sake of pumping it up. I wanted to make sure that we got some value. Where the value lied today was with 2 of these main lines. So that's what we're going with. I do really like this Michael Porter Jr. play though. He's been consistently good for the Nuggets this year. And what I really respect about MPJ was that he's turned himself into a pretty good team defender. He's not so good one-on-one, but he's turned himself into a pretty good team defender, which means that he really doesn't get played off the court like he used to. Michael Malone has a little bit more patience with him than he used to. It's also the healthiest he's been since the 2020-2021 season. Obviously, last year he did play, but he's coming back from that back injury. Now he is fully back from it. On the year, he's hit this number. He's hit 15 or more points in 16 of 28 games, and he's been very consistent, which I like. He's not someone who goes on hot streaks and cold streaks. Now, he did start a little slow, admittedly. He hit this in 1 of the first 5 games. Then he immediately hit it in 5 straight games. And he's basically been 55-45 in terms of the over versus the under since then. He's essentially done it every other game, with a couple times doing it 2 games in a row. What I like about Michael Porter Jr. is since that stretch where he didn't go over in 4 of the first 5 games, he has yet to go under in back-to-back games since that stretch. Basically, since late October, he's yet to go back-to-back games without scoring 15-plus points. He went under last game, so that does help our argument of him getting to 15 today. And what I do like about this play is that Michael Porter Jr., he consistently gets his shots up, even if his shots aren't falling, especially from deep. On the year, he's averaging over 7 3-point attempts per game, and only once has he shot fewer than 3, and only 3 times has he even shot 4. So he's very consistently getting shots up from deep and then just finishing passes down low from Jokic as well. Because of that consistent volume, as I mentioned, he's legitimately never missed 15 or more points in back-to-back games since the end of October. He's also got a pretty good matchup against the Raptors. You think of the Raptors as a long, lanky, good defense, but they actually do struggle against the SF, against the small forward position. They're the 3rd easiest matchup for small forwards, according to props.cash. In 6 of the last 8 small forwards against the Raptors have gone over their point total over under. So look for Michael Porter Jr. to have a good game in this one, cashing our first play. Next up, in the Heat versus Magic game, we're taking Paolo Banchero over 21.5 points, minus 110 odds at BetMGM. Another non-plus money banger. This is a really, really good price that we're getting on BetMGM from a price and an odds perspective. As I mentioned, BetMGM has this over-under at 21.5 with the overpriced at minus 110. Most other books, including FanDuel and some other sharp player prop books, have this prop priced at 22.5 as opposed to 21.5. It's a pretty big deal, that full point difference. So similar to the logic with the minus 115 for Michael Porter Jr., I just wanted to take the best value as opposed to pumping it up just for the sake of doing that. I wanted to get, the most important thing is that I wanted to get value from an odds perspective. Now looking at Paolo, he had a slow start to the year from a scoring perspective. He only hit this in 3 of his first 12 games of the season. Since then, he's done it in 9 of 13. including last game when he put up 36 against the Celtics, one of the best defenses in the NBA. Now, I know those of you that do follow my YouTube channel know that I generally try to fade recent results. So me saying, okay, well, if you'd like to fade recent results, why are you liking this if he had 36 last game? Well, the two previous games prior to last game's 36-point output, he had 14 and 20 points. So it wasn't like he's been consistently blowing up. Then also, it's kind of similar to the Raptors. The Heat generally have a good defense and are known to have a good defense. But this is not a tough matchup specifically for Paolo. He plays power forward. According to props.cash, the Heat are the fourth easiest matchup for power forwards in the NBA. This is all these scores happened in December. Patrick Williams put up 25 against the Heat on an over-under of 8.5. Pascal Siakam scored 30 on an over-under of 22.5. Obi Toppin scored 20 on an over-under of 12.5. Again, all those happened in December, so I think Paolo is in line to have a good game tonight against the Heat, hopefully cashing our second play of the slate. Next up, in the Timberwolves versus 76ers game, we're taking Karl Anthony Towns over 20.5 points plus 100 odds at ESPN Bet. Technically, our first plus money banger of the day. Granted, it is as low as a plus money banger can possibly get at even money. But I do really like this play. It's another really, really good price from an odds perspective. So again, I decided to keep it at 20.5 as opposed to pumping it up even more. We're getting this at least for even money. Most other books have this over as the favored outcome, meaning they charge more juice towards the over than the under. This was a positive EV play that I found on OddsJam. I do all my odds comparison on OddsJam. And in general, I love targeting Karl Anthony Towns to have a good game against the Sixers. The Sixers have long struggled against big men who can shoot. Now, generally, that is when Embiid is guarding those big men, and Embiid will probably mostly get the Gobert matchup. But even without Embiid as the primary defender on Cat, there are still going to be situations where Embiid is guarding Karl Anthony Towns. And even if it's not Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns is still going to have a plus matchup against whoever guards him. And the Embiid factor specifically, that's the defensive matchup that Embiid struggles the most with is big men he can shoot. He doesn't want to guard all the way to the perimeter. He wants to hang under the basket, which means that a lot of times these stretch bigs have a lot of wide open shots from deep, and good shooters who can take advantage of that do so and score a lot of points against the Sixers. Last game, the Sixers lost to the Bulls. Vooch scored 23 on an over-under of 18.5. Previously this year, Chet scored 33 on an over-under of 19.5. Al Horford scored 20 on an over-under of 8.5. It's definitely Embiid's biggest weakness. And again, big men who can shoot always take advantage. And again, even if it's not Joel Embiid guarding Karl Anthony Towns, I still like this play because the Sixers just don't have the bodies to throw at Cat. Now, Cat, looking at him for a little bit, he missed this in the first 4 games of the year. Since then has gone over in 12 of the last 21. So not hitting it quite at the clip that Paolo is, still hitting it at an above average rate. He has missed this in 3 of 4, but he should be able to get it going tonight. These two teams did just play in November and he went over the 20.5 points. Even though Embiid didn't play in that game, I still like for him to go over tonight, hopefully cashing our third play. And next up, fourth and final pick of the evening in the Hawks versus Rockets game. Jaylen Green, 20 plus points. This is at plus 117 odds at BetRivers or plus 115 odds at FanDuel. Finally, our last play, a pumped up prop, an official plus money prop, pumped up banger, targeting just one of the juiciest matchups you can target in the NBA. Players going up against the Hawks. The Hawks defense is horrible. They're a joke. They have the 4th worst defense in the NBA according to net rating, and they allow the 3rd most points per game in the NBA as well. Somehow, they're laughably the 2nd easiest matchup against 3 different positions. Remember, there are only 5 starting positions, but the Hawks, again, this is according to props.cash, are the 2nd easiest matchup against shooting guards, small forwards, and power forwards. That's insane. Now, I decided specifically to target Jaylen Green because I like his role offensively. He has the most consistent shot output and the perfect opportunity to get right after not shooting well the past 5 games. Jaylen Green has gone under this number in 5 straight games. But the reason why I'm not scared off by that and why I actually like targeting him tonight is he's still getting shots up. It wasn't like he completely stopped shooting. Here are his shooting splits in those 5 games from most recent to not most recent, for lack of a better word. 2 of 12, 6 of 11, and that 6 of 11 is the only game in which he shot above 50%. 4 of 12, 2 of 12, and 2 of 10. And that same 5-game stretch, here are his shot attempts from deep: 4, 4, 7, 5, and 4. So with that type of volume against a Hawks defense that can't guard anybody, and specifically can't guard the shooting guard, I expect Green to have a good game. The Hawks give up the second most points per game, specifically to shooting guards. So Jaylen Green has the great opportunity to break out of his slump tonight, hopefully cashing our 4th and final pick of the evening. And that's all we got. 4 picks for you guys to lock in. 2 main lines, 2 plus money bangers. Let's hope we can get all 4 to cash. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and have a good one.